Do you want to improve at a quicker pace? Check out GITGUDRacing.com, where I'm offering the most accessible coaching sessions on the market. Now for the track guide. For turn 1, high-speed corner, I'm looking at the first cone, and I want to brake at the first cone and just do a downshift to 5th. So the moment I see the first cone, I'm applying the brakes, and shortly after, while turning, downshifting. And right now I want to apex at this curb, so I want to place my right tires almost to the grass. You see, at this point, it's just about hugging this curb and stay close to the grass. It's important to use this curb, and it's also important to be early on throttle here. So, like for example, I'm dropping the brakes the moment that I arrive at the curb, and in this moment I'm already back on throttle, like right here. So this corner feels like you don't even stop, so the braking takes so little compared with a lot of corners. It's just a slight tap in the brakes and then back on throttle at the curb. This will push you to the exit using all the track. You have a lot of track here, so you won't get an off track easily unless you hit this this patch where there's no grass. If you hit it with your tire, it's gonna be an off track, but otherwise it's okay. For the next corner, this corner, in this one you need to brake a bit more than the other one, with the trail brake especially, because here you prioritize on having a good exit. You want to be early on throttle, and you just want to rotate the car a lot since it's a big straight after this corner. As for braking points, I would recommend not using these 3-to-1 boards. I think it will take the focus away. It's better to look in front of the car, and what I found as a braking point is a white line on the concrete. So right now there's a white line around here. I'm braking at the white line, or at least I'm trying to do it like this instead of looking to the left. So I'm just slightly looking in front, and then my eyes are again focusing on the corner. So whenever the car is on top of the white line, I'm starting to apply the brakes, and it's not a heavy braking zone. You don't want to overslow the car here. You just want to carry the momentum while turning the car. So the challenge right here is to brake as least as possible, and just to make the car turn. So what I'm doing is I'm trail braking a lot. So you see, in the shape, if you compare this shape with the first braking zone, this one, the second one for turn 1 has a lot more trailing to it. It's a lot more. It's double the trailing. And that's because this corner is longer. So I still aim to use all this curve, but I want to be early on throttle. So I don't wait to go around it. By the time I'm almost in the middle of the curve, I'm applying the throttle. So right now I'm back on throttle. And depending on the speed that you're gonna carry, because each lap it won't be the exact same, it's very difficult to drive like a robot. It will be 1, 2, 3, 4 kph difference. You will do the correction on the throttle on the exit. So right now for me, I have to do this slow plateau and then to build it up so that I'm using all the throttle. You will judge this corner by how long did you take how long it took for you to build up to 100% throttle. So for me, I have this plateau and then the build up. If I will be able to do it, like for example, to be on 100% throttle here instead of here, this is gonna be a huge gain. So this is how I would improve this corner, by just looking at your telemetry on the way that you're applying the throttle. This is a big straight, and going into the next corner, what I'm using for reference is the curb in front. So I'm looking at this curb and I want to brake slightly before the curb, but under braking I aim to have the right tires past the white line, so onto the curb. So I'm braking before the curb. It's a heavy braking zone, 100% braking, and then releasing. And right now you see I have the antenna on the curb, so my right tires are to the right side of the curb. That's because you want to open up this corner as much as possible. Unfortunately, in this lap, I dropped the brakes too soon, so I could have held a bit more than 100%. I drop it around here. Here I'm doing the lift. If I would have dropped it around here, so still holding 100% here, I would have had a better corner, because what's happening right now for me, I have a slight lockup to the left tires and I miss this apex, this curb. I'm carrying a lot of speed, so I'm making up for that to some extent, but still a perfect attempt would imply using this curb, and then the throttle application would be sooner, because right now I'm coasting and you see this gap in between the brake and the throttle. That's because I couldn't put the power down early enough because of the understeer. So the challenge in this corner is maximizing the straight line braking, maximizing the way that you brake at the first part of the braking, where the whole purpose of braking is just to slow down the car in time. If you will be able to brake late, and I think this is a late braking point, so I don't think this is an early braking point, braking slightly past the curb. If you'll be able to maintain this braking point, but slow down the car in time so that you will hit this curb, and you will be, as a result, you will be earlier on throttle here, this is how you will gain time. This is how you will gain a lot of time, and you will learn how to maximize the efficiency of braking with this car. The challenge with this car is not dropping the brakes too quickly, because your braking is dynamic in this car. Your braking depends on the downforce. The moment that the car slows down is the moment that the car loses downforce, and then the tires will lock up. So your goal is to maximize the braking in the initial part whenever the car has a lot of downforce. So it's very important to practice this. This will be a good drill. In this corner, just trying to stop the car in time while maintaining that braking point. Now on exit, you will use all this track, putting the power down, and what I use for this corner as a braking point is the moment that I see that there's just one banner on the right, this one right here. You can also use as a braking point the last part of the crest, because you're going uphill, and I would say around here is the last part. If you go like 3 meters forward, you will see the road, but I think definitely this banner on the right is more useful just to apply the brakes. And you don't want to brake hard, and you want to downshift quickly, because you will need rotation. You will need to hook up this curb and then bringing the power down. This corner is flat, so everything easy here. For the next corner though, I use as a braking point the number 2, but I don't think it's a perfect braking point. I don't like to use a braking point which is on the right side where the corner is a left-hander. So what you can use instead is this white line. However, it won't be so consistent. At least for me, it's not so consistent, because you have to approximate the distance between you and the white line. Whereas with number 2, it's a bit easier to do it, in my opinion, since you will see it from far ahead. So you will see it from around here, you can see it clearly. And then in your mind, you can extrapolate where the car is going to be in relationship with number 2. But it's not a perfect braking point. You have these two options, the white line or the number. I find the white line to be a bit harder to use it here, just because you see it a bit late, and with this car everything happens so quickly. However, it's a heavy braking zone initially. I'm picking close to 100, and I think you should pick 100 here, because you want, it's exactly like that corner that we discussed about the efficiency of straight line braking. It's the same thing. You want to stop the car as quickly as possible, braking as late as possible. So heavy braking zone, downshifting to third, and I want to hook up this car to this curb. So it's important to get close to this curb, because this curb will help you rotate the car and will push your car to the exit here, connecting the brake with the throttle. And now in the carousel, here is the moment that I mess up this lap. I think I lost maybe 2 tenths here. So my plan for carousel is to treat it like a double apex corner. I want to apex firstly close around here, then to push my car wider, and then to apex again. But in this case, this didn't happen like I thought it will, just because I'm doing this lift a bit too late, too late, and as a result, I don't get the first apex. So my car is not in the inside here, so right now I have to correct it. You want at the exit to be on this curb with the right tires. You will know you had a good line if you'll be on this curb here, and then you won't take this grass. This grass it won't give you an off track. It didn't gave me an off track. However, I scrub up speed just to keep the car on tracks. So not ideal, definitely. Now for the next corner, big straight, going into the braking zone, and I use as a braking point the number 2. I brake almost in the middle of 3 and 2, but closely to the 2. So at 2 I'm at 100% peak pressure. I hold it for a bit and then downshifting, and again a slight lock up to the right tires. Definitely the challenge to maximize the straight line braking. I don't want to brake at the 3, it's gonna be too early, but I don't want to brake at the 2 either, it's gonna be way too late, so kind of difficult to maximize the braking here. Anyways, you will have to be early on throttle and use all this track on the exit. Flat out around here, and for the last corner there's something that I found, a line that I found the quickest. It's difficult to pull it off. I almost had it, but what I'm doing is after I take this corner flat, I bring the car as quickly as I can to the left side. I don't want to lose any time in between corners. Everything happens quickly though, so just bring it to the left. I use this as a reference for braking this change in tarmac. Right now the tarmac it's a bit darker at this point, so here it's a bit darker. So I'm braking as soon as I go on the dark part, and what I want is to take an extremely large radius into the last corner. So I'm pushing my car far to the left, like almost using the grass here, to put this tire on this curb while trail braking. And this will open up this corner nicely. And because I can open up a lot, I can take a bit of an earlier apex to carry a bit more speed. So I'm turning in a bit earlier, but because of the trail brake, right now I'm turning left because I have a moment of oversteer. So it's definitely trickier because you will have to, if you're gonna carry a lot of speed and you're gonna trail brake and at the same time take an earlier apex, you will have to deal with the rear being a bit loose. So you will have to induce some understeer to balance this, and to do that you will have to drop the brakes more quickly, which I didn't do here to that extent. I am able to regain control of the car, but this slight moment here, this blink of an eye moment in which I'm not using the front tires, is losing me, let's say, half a tenth, like this moment. So ideally you would want to open up the corner. This is the right thing to do, to go and turn in from this part with the tire being almost on the grass, with the left tire being on the grass. But you want to be a bit more patient with the way that you trail brake and the way that you rotate, so that you won't have this moment of oversteer. The goal in this corner is to arrive at 100% throttle as quickly as possible. So again, like the second corner, if you can arrive at 100% throttle around here, that will be a huge gain instead of here. It's a big straight, so it will be at least half a tenth. I would reckon it will be a whole tenth till the end of the straight. Just a blink of an eye, not that much, just a blink of an eye earlier. And in short, that's a track guide of Road America. I hope you have a great week ahead, and I will see you on the next one.